driftwood that's come here. I'm going to go and have a look at this. I'm going to look at a lot of driftwood today. We're looking for signs of spring. Here we go, we've got some gorse here. Gorse is flowers all year round, and it's a member of the pea family. Beautiful, very spiky plant. The flowers smell a bit like coconut. It tastes quite sweet. There's curlew flying overhead. Lovely hearing them, lovely hearing them. You can hear them. Oh, there they are flying over. Beautiful. So yeah, the gorse bushes, they flower all year, and the flowers are sweeter on the south side where they get the sun. Seeing a few plants starting to pop up. Hey, here we go. Something I was looking for. Something I was chatting with Becky with about nettles. So these fresh young nettles that are coming in, they're very, very spiky. They've got stinging spikes on them, and see when they're coming in like new like this is the best time to get them, to cut them and save them, dry them for tea, and also they're full of iron, so they're nice in a curry. So the way, hello dog, the way that you deal with these is that the hairs, they run in a particular direction. So as long as you run your fingers in that direction when you're touching nettles, they don't sting you, basically. And the sting is really quite good for you. You might hear people using stings for arthritis and stuff like that. And so yeah, the sting will help your body to produce chemicals as well, which are anti-inflammatory. And so yeah, nettles are your friend. Right. What else have we got here? Oh yeah. What else? So this is like a bit of salt marsh. Interestingly, it's like an extra pond from the...
Sarkakau73 says, hey XX.
Hey!
CaptainEdith says, good morning, oh, how you doing today?
Morning. Lovely to see you guys. Hiya, how are you doing? I needed to get out today. Some sheep here looking at me. Shall we look at them? They're looking at me like, what are you doing? Just because there's some lambs in the field, I think. Yeah, is that too much for you? I hear lambs. Meh. I can see the lamb. Oh. It wasn't you ringing. Saki, have you got my number? I know Burner's got my number. Can you get into... Have you got into Burner's phone? If not, then I should sort that out. Hi. Hi. Bleh. Bleh. Oh. If only your baby had a wee tail to wiggle around, Captain Edith. Hey. Mummy's milk, yum yum yum. Oh, he's got flappy arms. See, if I stand up and get a bit closer to the fence, they will run away. Because I'm big and scary. So yeah, it's a nice day today. We are looking for signs of spring. So found some nettles, that was nice. We've seen some lambs. I think we've already succeeded. This lovely kind of cross between freshwater smelling stuff and seawater. So you've got this estuarine kind of I can smell this kind of estuarine smell. Just having a look at the footprints here that are in the mud. They just look like dog prints to me. So the plan is we're going to walk along the back of the sea defence, basically. The sea comes right up here into this area here. This water in front of you is seawater. And the tide comes in, it fills up this area. So you can see the grass is kind of really flat and compressed. That's because it goes underwater a couple of times a day. Are you still with me, guys? I'm slightly worried about the signal here. You are. Amazing. TTS isn't working. That's what's wrong. Normally TTS is giving it rah, 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 rah. Let's see if I can make sure that that's on. Text-to-speech is on, apparently. Oh, I know what's wrong. My volume's down. I bet you that's what it is. Right, I put my volume up now. Oh, no, it's still not working. Panini. Yummy. That's interesting. What's that? Oh, it's seaweed. I was like, what's that plant? Don't recognise that plant. So what I'm really looking for today is something called ramsons, otherwise known as wild garlic. Also, quite like to find some colt's foot. So we're going to walk along so you can see where the storms bring all the dead wood. So wow, hug, big smile waking up to this. We're looking for stuff, spring stuff. I can hear geese in front of me. Can't see them yet. So yeah, this is a nice wood here. This is where basically this is a sea defence, this bit here. See this little mound up here. And behind it, there's a field. If you can see that. I can go up there in a second. So, without that sea defence, the sea would just go into that field on a stormy day. Hey, here's some signs of spring, some random daffodils. Daffodils are a bit annoying, really, in the countryside. They shouldn't really just be randomly about, but they are. Nice looking things, though. Camera's doing quite well at switching cameras by itself. And look, there's some another sign of spring. You see it? Oh, so that's dog rose, Rosa canina. It's starting to come up. Why are daffodils annoying? Okay, I'll explain. So, daffodils are garden. They're not flowers that you would find in the wild. They're kind of a man-developed variety of flower, and when you're looking at a landscape which is deemed to be a natural landscape, it's very, very unlikely that you will experience a pristine natural landscape because man has touched it so much. But if you're looking out across the landscape and suddenly you see a big clump of daffodils, then it detracts from the naturalness of it. Does that make sense? Not that it's natural, because as I said, none of this is natural really. All this landscape is all man induced. It just got bombed by crows. Didn't know that. I thought they were wild like bluebells. Ah, interesting. Well, there's another story about bluebells as well. So, in Scotland anyway, and in the UK, we've got a native species of bluebell that, once the retreat of the last ice age went away, all the creatures that live on the land, and they all had to kind of jostle with each other and work out where their position was. What's called their ecological niche. And they often have adapted to certain conditions in order to fulfill that niche. So our Scottish bluebell is a very delicate looking thing. And if you look at other types of bluebells, like Spanish bluebell for example, they're much more robust. They look big and they just have different features, if you like. And so what happens is the pollinators, the bees and the flies and all the things that take pollen from one plant to another, they will go to your bluebell in your garden, your Spanish bluebell, your non-native bluebell. And then they'll fly off with the pollen from that on their back or on their legs, fly off into the woods and where there's native bluebells. And then they will create a hybrid. And this hybridization, you could say that it was a kind of natural process to some degree, if you think humans are natural and what we do is natural, part of nature. Well, some people think that it's not good to create what's called a homogeneity, so sameness. And so if lots of things hybridize, then it creates a kind of greyness, a kind of sameness, rather than the distinctiveness of their individualness that they have kind of just in their own right. So bluebells are protected as much as you can protect them. Does that make sense? Yeah, it makes a new thing. That's right. And if you look at the evolution of species and things like that, there is hybridization, and so I think one of the things that people are generally a little concerned about are the effects of speeding up evolution. Evolution takes a very long time, and like multiple generations. To some degree, you might see subspecies coming in quite a short period of time. Like, for example, there might be butterflies in the Amazon rainforest, or a rainforest in the world, that live in the canopy of the trees. And then when the trees get cut down for some reason, their canopy habitat is gone, isn't it? That high up canopy is gone. But studies show that once natural regeneration or regeneration starts to happen in the area where the trees have been cut down, the remaining population of butterflies from the canopy around it will drop down into that new space where the trees are very short. And it's been discovered that they have maybe some small adaptations as well. Maybe they look slightly different. So yes, subspecies are known to happen fairly quickly. And that's all part of this theory of adaptive radiation, which Charles Darwin proposed many moons ago. So yeah, generally in nature conservation, we're trying to slow things down. So say, for example, our native wildcats that we've got here in Scotland, they mate with farm cats. So slowly the gene pool of pure wildcats is becoming more and more diluted, I suppose, with non-wildcat genes. So yeah, that's kind of, in a nutshell, what a lot of conservation is all about: preserving gene pools and species in their own right. And there's been a lot of different kind of discussion about how to do that. Initially, people were very into species protection, so like save the panda, save the tiger, save the blue whale kind of thing. And then over time people realized that trying to save a species or working for a species isn't necessarily the appropriate way to do things, and actually to manage land in a way which is appropriate for all the species that it can support is a much better approach. So that tends to be the way things work now. So say, for example, there are, in the Cairngorm mountain range in Scotland, we have this old forest called Bardintheyard forest. Non-GMO seeds are pricey these days. Ah, yeah, okay, interesting. Yeah, there you go. There's some people cashing in on that. So yeah, in Abernethy, they have wild cats. They've got capercaillie, which is a huge our largest ground nesting bird. It's not flightless, but it doesn't fly a lot. And then we've got pine marten as well, which is a type of mustelid, a bit like an otter, a bit like a badger, kind of thing. So by preserving the habitat for all of these species. They are all of their populations are increasing. But then as the pine marten species increase, then that means that there's more threat to the capercaillie, because you have this thing called population cycling in ecology, where predator and prey kind of follow each other. So as there are more predators, there are less prey, and then as there are less prey, there's a starvation. It becomes less predators, and then there's more prey, and then there are more predators based on that fluctuation of populations. Population cycling is a big part of ecology, and yeah, so they have quandaries, if you like, in conservation up in Abernethy, because they're like, well, what are we preserving for right now? And I suppose in some areas they'll probably conserve for capercaillie, because they're only really nesting in that area or something like that. Anyway, there's a farmer or somebody coming across the marker here, and he's dragging something, and I think he's dragging bits of wood. I think he's the guy that goes and collects wood and drags it back to do stuff with. Just dragging a big log. I probably shouldn't be doing it, because this is a SSSI, site of scientific interest, and potentially that activity could be deemed as a damaging activity. But seeing as he's just one dude with his quad bike doing it every couple of days or every week or whatever, it's probably very minimal, the effect that he's having. Some trampling and stuff, some damage can actually be quite good, because it can create little pockets of different high grass, or you wouldn't maybe think of it, but like a path or a track or something like that. The grass is a bit different height, and as a result, some wee plant might want to live there. He's taking wood for science. Is that what he's saying? Taking wood for science. Perhaps. Look at these sheep staring at me. Good morning. Hello. How are you, Slytherin Granny? Yep, that's it. Dinner. That's it. These guys are all going to be lamb chops. Mostly. Oh, CaptainEdith. Look, you've got some Wesdar. You can slay if you want. Go, Edith. Wow, this is mental. So I hope this isn't giving you disaster flashbacks. This is just basically so you can see the field we've just been in. If this bit of land, this little rise wasn't here, then the sea would just be straight into that field. So yeah, look. Adventure digger. Oh, there's lots of wee spiders and things running around. This is quite cool, actually. Interesting the way it's all running in the same direction. Well, it's not all running in the same direction, but it's got that general idea, that vibe to it. Everything's kind of swept in a particular direction. You're okay. Good. It does. All this dead stuff is dead cool. Look at this. A bit of burr. Oh. Nice. Nice lumpy bit of wood here. I like this. That would look nice if you were to cut it open. You get some pretty patterns in there. There he is, going back again. I see him nearly every time I'm out, actually, on his wee quad bike, tootling around looking for logs. Pretty much every time we have a storm, he's out. We've got a guy, one of my next door neighbours, makes sort of chainsaw sculptures from wood. Oh wow, look at these! These, oh god, I'm dropping them as well. Do you know what these are? What's that? You can see in the sun. Hazelnuts. There's quite a few hazelnuts just here, oddly enough. No acorns. We might find some acorns. I mean, we found some hazelnuts, so. And there's more hazelnuts over there. There's loads of hazelnuts here. I wonder if there is a creature around here that's gathering hazelnuts. It could be a bird, like a woodpecker maybe, or something like that. It wasn't doing very well at hiding them, has to be said, but it was weird that, no, actually there's more hazelnuts here as well. Interesting. There's some beech nuts here. This is kind of odd, guys. This is why I love nature, right? Because you see weird things that don't make sense. So this is a beech nut. There's a beech nut. There's another beech nut. There's a beech nut there. Now, beech nuts are hard enough to find underneath a beech tree, let alone just randomly. See? And there's loads of beech nuts here. And hazelnuts. Very interesting. I'm starting to feel good about being out here now. Yeah, it must be. That's kind of what I'm thinking, Saki. That they must just float around and then kind of just be in the mix of the water, and then it's odd. We're coming up to a river though, so that's what I was thinking, was maybe there's lots of beech and hazelwoods higher up the river, and then somehow they've ended up here. We'd had those big storms at the beginning of the year. Oh, snipe. So So there are little wading birds that live. Wading birds. Okay, so why are they called wading birds? Because they wade in the water. They tend to be around the edges of the water, the sea, and they've got long beaks they put in the sand and suck out worms and things. Little things that live in the sand. And in the summertime, a lot of these birds use what we consider to be the inland for nesting. So hillsides and stuff. And so heron over there. Hillsides in particular. Sometimes you might be driving in the countryside and you'll see them nesting on roundabouts and things. And anyway, so that was a snipe. Looked like it just was possibly thinking about nesting where it was. This grass is so soft. Have you ever Tyken? How are you doing? How you doing, brother? This grass that I'm walking on right now, it is the spongiest grass. And it's just, I don't know if you can see how spongy this is. But it's a bit like walking on a duvet or something, or like, it reminds me of Old English sheepdog fur or something. Big ups Tyken, lovely to see you, man. We're out looking for spring stuff. If you don't know Tyken UK and you're interested in IRL streaming, Tyken is an IRL streamer. He's got a posh car with the soft top, and he's quite a nice man. You know, he's not a look at me, aren't I cool sort of guy. He's just generally quite cool, nice down to earth dude. And he also helps the IRL community out with his wee job he's got himself to, well, what he made for himself, which is a kind of, how Tyken you might call it. I was going to say a server-based job where you support streamers with their live streaming. I don't know the technicalities of it. So here we go. So we're talking about the daffodils. These random daffodils in the woodland. You see how they're just randomly kind of around and about. And that's the problem we have in gardens, basically. Gardens, people that use their local woodland, like if they've got a woodland out the back of their garden, and they just dump all the shit from their gardening over the wall into the woodland, and then the plants from their garden start to bully the other plants in the woodland, and slowly you end up with a woodland which isn't really very diverse, if you like, because the garden centre plants have bullied the native plants. Yeah, it's a bit odd. There's a bit of Japanese knotweed here, which looks like someone's cut it. It's a bit odd. Maybe it's just all fallen down in the wind, I don't know. I'm also looking at, there's some diggings here as well. It's not very obvious what is here though. I've not seen a badger here since I've been here. I've seen foxes, I've seen otters. Oh wow, look, a celandine. Another sign of spring. Oh, This little dude is celandine. Nice to see. He's got nice kind of semi-heart shaped kind of leaves. You can see how it's got these kind of heart shaped lobes on it, but they're kind of odd looking. They've been munched a wee bit as well. It's lovely to see that. So it's not a buttercup. I think they're buttercups. It's a celandine. Celandine is reputed to be a cure for hemorrhoids. You saw your first wild badger crossing the road in Southend-on-Sea. Amazing. So just beside it, do you see that there in the ground? That white thing? See, it's all smashed up. And there's another one. And another one there. And another one here. So does anybody know what this is? What is it that's coming here and smashing up snails? Anybody? A bird. Well done. Well done. What type of bird? Sarky, what type of bird? The blackthorn here is starting to bud. I see the buds. It's definitely better to look at these things on the 0.5 zoom on this. I'm thinking about trying to get a telescope for this, or a telescopic lens, a bigger lens, so we can maybe do some sitting. I tried it, I got an Aldi one last year and it was terrible. It didn't work. I mean, it's a telescope, it works fine, but the connector for the phone to the eyepiece is rubbish. Really not good, or not built for an iPhone anyway, probably built for some form of Android phone about 20 years ago. But yeah, I've been looking online and there do seem to be some options. Some of them, they have a case for your phone and then you screw the lens directly into the case. And if we get a good one, it'd be nice to be able to go in, because we've got seals not far away from here, and there's a few things which are just a little bit out of distance for looking at. Like there's some geese on the water over there. And if I go into full on this one, you see how it's all pixelated and it's not so great. So I'd like to be able to do some bird watching. Right, so here we've got a big spoil. Can you see all this soil that's been dragged? This big lump of soil here, bare soil. That's being dragged out of that burrow there. Now, there's rabbit droppings here. It suggests that there's definitely rabbits using this burrow. And a bit of, well, it looks like a bit of fresh bedding there. So badgers and will use multiple burrows that are used by other things as well, or other things will use the same burrow. And what we have to do to find out a bit more is we have to get a bit closer and we have to have a little look to see if we can find any hairs, ideally, or any claw marks, things that look particularly badgery. It's definitely big enough for badgers. So badger hairs are not round. If you get one of your hairs and you roll it in your fingers, you'll see that it rolls no problem at all. It might just be rabbits here, but it's definitely a big enough entrance for there to be badgers. What I could do is set a camera trap up on that tree, and pointing in this direction and see. We can maybe do that soon. We can do that together. Okay, so this was the area of land that I was kind of wanting to come to. It's a weird little bit of land, and it's kind of a forgotten bit of land between the river and that bit of salt marsh that we've just walked along. And it seems to be where the wild garlic grows. Here we go. This is wild garlic, or ramsons. Wild garlic has got this lovely big, wow, it's an amazing smell now I've picked it. So wild garlic has got a big fat leaf, and as you see, it's got this nice ridge down the back there. Not to be confused with the trifoliate leek, which is also oniony and edible and grows in exactly the same places but looks different. Its leaves are much longer and thinner. They look a bit more like bluebell leaves, I suppose. And yeah, so this is my local spot for ramsons. There's another interesting plant coming up here. A couple of interesting plants coming up here. So this big pink thing here is the flowering spike of a butterbur. So as you can see that it's flowering away now. That's going to grow a huge, massive big leaves that look a bit like rhubarb. You see them on the banks of rivers quite a lot. So yeah, when they're small, just coming up, that's what you get. And then below it, I've got this one here, which is comfrey. So comfrey is good for you. C-O-N-F-R-E-Y, comfrey. It's great in the garden. If you want to make a fantastic fertilizer for your plants, take comfrey and nettles, mix them together in a big drum and just let it ferment sort of down into a brown, I don't know if it ferments or not, but let it turn into a brown liquid. And then that's amazing fertilizer, really high in nitrogen. What else have we got here? We've got some sticky willy. Look, can you see the sticky willy? That is cleavers. And it looks like that might be colt's foot coming up there as well. Or maybe that's that might be the leaf of the butterbur actually. Interesting, it's quite dusty, this. Suggests that something has been coming out. A dusty creature has been coming across here, perhaps. Interesting. Oh wow, smells so good. Symphytum comfrey, smearvortel. It is. You will be about just going to find something to eat. Rabbits. Yeah, so you can just eat this. But it's very oniony, so I'm not going to. But yeah, you can just eat wild garlic, basically pick it. The thing to do, which is what I'll probably do with you guys maybe next week, is we'll get this and then we'll get some pine nuts and we'll get some lemon juice and we will chop it all up together and mush it up and put it on some oatcakes. So yeah, there's actually loads of wild garlic coming up here. Shitloads of comfrey as well. See all the comfrey here coming up. Loads of it. But then, like, in amongst it, we've got the wild garlic. Oh, a bumblebee! Yay! You're my first bumblebee of the year. Fantastic. Let's pick on that butterbur flower. Come on, bumblebee. Stop being shy. Just throw it over, you'll eat it. I can post some to you. You're going to pop into Galv and catch you later? Feel free to ring Burner's phone. Okay, amazing. Thanks, Sarky. Thanks for coming in and joining me. It's been really nice to see you. Hopefully we will see a lot of more of you. Oh, the butterfly. Where did it go? Where did the butterfly go? I saw a butterfly. So butterflies hibernate. Not all butterflies hibernate, but some hibernate. So no, I cannot see it. I thought it might be on these daffodils. So this might become one of our little hideouts, basically, down here, because I'd like to do some streams just like around where I live, not too far away, and actually spend a bit of time just like enjoying, just tootling around in like a small place. It's one of my most favourite things to do, actually, is to, you know, I've known people in the past and they've been like, right, I'm going to go and climb this mountain, Andy. And I'm like, well, that's fine. I'll just stay down here in this field. See you in 4 hours. Sort of thing. Because there's a concept. The concept is, oh, let's get the sun in a good place so you can actually see me. It's a big black sheep. There's a concept called small is beautiful. You might have heard the term all good things come in small packages. And I don't know if you noticed when we were just having a look at just now at that butterbur, it was like, oh, here's butterbur, and oh, look. By looking a bit closer, you can see there's cleavers and there's this and there's that. And like when we looked at the celandine, it was like, oh, look, here's some snail shells. So I'm up for that kind of exploring in miniature, as well as more grand explorations. So a lot of people have got this kind of conquering attitude. I want to conquer this, I need to do this, conquer this, tick it off on my box. Let's see these geese as they fly. Try and get you some better goose shots at some point. Okay, so there's definitely enough wild garlic here for me to do some foraging. Once you make your wild garlic pesto, you can stick it in the freezer and then you can eat it anytime. I will say that I find wild garlic pesto to be particularly garlicky. And although I like it, I don't really like having too much of it. If that makes sense. Oh yes, so there's so much comfrey along here, loads of comfrey. Slytherin Granny, if you're still here, yeah, what does it say that comfrey is good for? Because what I've noticed is, oh, there's a butterfly. Oh, and another one. Has it flown away while I was looking at the camera? If you don't keep your eye on these butterflies, they're off. This does look at these diggings that I'm seeing. I keep seeing these diggings everywhere. And although it could be rabbits, it does kind of make me think of badgers. Right. Where are you? I can see you, but can I see you on this? Yeah, I can now. So it's right in the middle of the screen, guys. Can you see the butterfly? Yeah, see its wings? It's on the butterbur flower. Ah, whoa, look at that teardrop of concentration there. Love butterflies. Usually you can get quite close to them as long as you don't put your shadow on them. It looks quite hungry as well. Isn't it? Furry it is. I love those blue spots along the side of it as well. So lovely. Oh. That was nice. Okay. I think it's time we went down to the beach. Oh, it's nice to see the bumblebees and butterflies. So what have we seen? Signs of spring. We've seen loads of things. Oh, what's that? I think that looks like sheep poo actually, which is weird. Of course, I found some poo, and I'm like, oh, what's that? Interesting looking poo, though. There's a hair attached to it as well, but I don't really fancy pulling the hair out. It's odd. It's an odd looking poo, though. So yeah, this is the River Stincher, my local river. It's just a wee river. Well, wee in comparison to some rivers in other countries anyway. It's a reasonably sized river here. just over there where the stones are. It's quite a hard bit to get across if you're on the other side, because there's another little burn coming down there, the one that we walked up at Glen App. If you remember the Glen App walk, the woodland walk that's on YouTube, if you want to look at that. I thought I could see somebody down there. I don't think you're going to be able to see this. There's a little creature in the grass here, and it just stuck its head out. I spotted it, but it's probably going to be like, oh no, I'm not coming back out. I saw the monkey man. Well, another day. I saw your baby hugging up the big monkey man. I saw no sign that you, I only heard that you were trying to make a monkey of me. Louis snail shell. Oh, it's so peaceful. Off from the tractor in the road. So I know we've got otters here now from seeing the otters on the cameras that I put out last summer. They're at the other end of the beach, and if I was an otter, that I would definitely come up here as well because there's a river here full of nice fish. So I'm kind of looking out for otter stuff as well while I'm out here. Oh, so much celandine here, lots of it. Lots of it. So you see it's got this nice, kind of a bit like a pansy shaped leaf. So if you dig a celandine up and you have a look at its roots are not like normal roots that you'd expect. They're kind of lumpy, a bit like tubers. Tubers are potatoes, basically, those sorts of things, tubers. And so that's why they got the name hemorrhoidus, basically, in their Latin name. Oh, there's another snipe. I think they might be shell ducks. They're quite big. And it's hard to see. Anyway, I'm going to scare them all away, sadly. There's lots of those butterflies. Either that or I'm being followed. don't think I'm being followed. Ah, this is good here. We don't have a ranger here anymore. We used to have a ranger here. I've said that I would happily be the volunteer ranger for this place. Obviously it'd be nice to get paid, but there is no paid position. I think this might be easier to cross here. There's this tiny little tributary here going into the... but I think the further I go that way, the harder it's going to be. The further I go along that way, along there, for crossing. Whenever I try to make videos of walks, there's birds, but then there's sirens. No paid position for ranger, no. This stuff is dog's mercury. Dog's mercury is supposed to be useless, even for dogs. Oh, there go the ducks. Something was going meat. Put them off. Quite a nice little copse here. Right, I'm going to walk down the side of the river. They are shell ducks. Ones that are taking off and going down there. The reason why I'm going to go right down the side of the river is because this could be nesting habitat for the snipe and stuff. So although I will disturb the ducks, hopefully I won't be standing all over the nests of the snipe. I'll just go right down the edge here. Oh, some swans. Amazing. Cool. It is a beautiful day, Sawawa. Remember I told you that the time to come to Scotland is in the springtime, because you get these beautiful days. Once you get to June, by the middle of June, we've moved into the sort of summer tropical cycles. So it's wet. It might be sunny and warm in between it, but it can be very, very wet. Doo-boop. Doo-boop, doo-boop. Nice birds. So that is a turnstone, that one that was making that noise. Alright, let's try full zoom. So if I had a telescope lens on here, we could get about 6 or 7 times closer. 8 times, even 6 to 8 times. They are swans, that's right, yeah. So here we have migratory swans, which will be thinking about leaving again soon, any time now. Those two look like our standard mute swans. The migratory swans are whooper swans and Buick swans. So, oh, hold on a minute, that's my mustache. Wow. It's just lovely here. Really nice. When I turned my head and turned back, I thought I saw something out of the corner of my eye. No, can't see it again. thought I saw a footprint, but it's sort of, your peripheral vision is the best bit of your vision, because as hunter-gatherers, we need to be able to see what's on the periphery for danger, to get away from things that might jump out on us, but also so we can hunt for things. So if you're looking at stars at night, if you look out the side of your eye rather than directly in front of you, you'll get a better, clearer picture of the stars. That's particularly good if you're looking for certain little, what are they called? Dual star systems, when the stars are very close. It just looks like one star maybe, if you look at it straight on, but if you look at it from the side, you can see that it's actually two. Now that I'm coming down here, I can smell the sea air again. I wasn't aware of it as much up there. And we're coming into these salt water or saline pools that are left over. I see how the grass is so short. It's like a golf range or something like that, where the sea water is over the top of it every few hours, basically. What is it, every 6 hours or something the tide changes? I'm right beside the swans now, just trying to be quiet so you can see them maybe. Get a better look at them. So serene. It's not a grouse, it's a shell duck. Interesting. So the shell ducks seem to be mating over there. They're doing some mating dancing and stuff. These two swans just seem to be very well paired. They're mute swans. Mute swans have got quite orange bills. Got a big knob on the end of their head. Okay, it's so peaceful. I don't know if you can see these guys over there doing. One of them was kind of reaching up with his neck and stuff. So we have what we call divers here. And you guys call them loons. You have some paired swans down the road, quite friendlier than the geese. Oh, yeah, geese can be a bit unfriendly, can't they? So, yeah, this is a bit of a dead end, guys. Maybe I should have gone that other way earlier on instead of crossing over. This is one of the ways the sea gets in from the river. Gets in here. So we're gonna have to go another way. I'm not going to be able to jump across that bit. So I'm going to have to go find another route down to the beach. Oh wow, it's so bouncy, this grass. It's like... Southern Granny's going away. You're off for now. See you later. Ah, thank you for joining me. Lovely to see you. Thanks for coming in and having a chit chat. Wow, look at all the footprints. It's like abstract art. It's crazy, the hay fever's kicking as well. See, can you see the seaweed? So that proves to you that this is actually a saltwater habitat, a mixture of salt and fresh water, which is, the term is called brackish. It's a brackish water. A new guy on the Isle of Harris, no, in fact, Lewis, and he had a Harris hawk, not a Lewis hawk, he had a Harris hawk on Lewis, and his thing was catching on this kind of grass like this here. Obviously you can imagine the rabbits get the best grass here. So he would get his hawk and he'd catch rabbits with his hawk. And he'd say that it was hawk caught, macker fed rabbit. Seagulls have a little disco. They have a little disco on top of my house every morning, along with the crows as well. Where I live, it seems to be like a meeting point for birds. So they get on top of my roof, and you can tell when the gulls have landed on the roof because they're super flat-footed, and they wow, look how fluffy that is. They're super flat-footed, so you can hear their flat feet giving it flop, 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 flop. And the crows, they come on and they wipe their beaks, so you hear this tap, tap, tap. And then they stroke you a little bit with some feathers, bit of ASMR for you. The jackdaws. Jackdaws, they run around a lot. So you hear this like pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter. Oh, a dead sheep. I'll move the camera away from that. Don't think you'll be wanting to see a dead sheep, will you guys? Oh, there's not much of it left, it has to be said. Amazing. It's provided food for a lot of things, I would think. Don't suppose you want to see a dead sheep, do you? We were looking at live sheep earlier on. This one is past being mutton. I don't know how I'm going to get across, guys. Last time I was here, I remember being able to get across. Maybe the tide is in further than it was last time I was here. Maybe that's it. Yeah, they are. My own personal roosters waking me up every morning. Brrr. It's super spongy, this grass. Nature's register. Interesting. Do you mean like we're going to jump across this? It's quite a distance, but we're up high. I'm hoping when we get to the other side we'll be all right and we won't slip, but we might slip. Maybe I won't jump across that actually. Maybe I'll try and go across here instead, which is where the guy goes across with his, might be a bit more, I don't know. It might be slippier here because he's made it all slippy with this thing. What I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to take a mad running jump. Right, ready for the mad running jump? Whoa. There we go, we made it. I'm always a bit concerned about jumping in case the camera comes out of the gimbal, but it's quite a good magnet, so it's squishy here too. One of the good things about being a 6'4" person is that somewhere in front of me there's a bird. It's making a noise saying, "Don't like you being here, don't like you being here." I can't see it. Probably sitting on eggs, so we're not going to go any closer. Just going to walk away. There we go, it's chilling it now. It's crazy to think that things are all, you know, that the lambs are out already and everything's starting its breeding for the year. CaptainEdith's got a head start on that one. I didn't know you had to have another child until I came back onto stream and I was like, she looks different. She's a different sheep. And then you're like talking about babies and stuff. And I was like, oh, that makes sense now. So chilled here. Feeling a lot more chilled now that we're not over by that bird that was freaking out. Here we go again. More of these little inlets. It's quite tricky to navigate this whole bit of, as you can see, this is just all these weird little inlets and stuff. It's really cool. I like this kind of landscape. It's not what you don't come across it very often. Like a bit of flat ground by the sea with lots of little tributaries and stuff like that. I bet there's eels here. If I was an eel, I would like to live here. Now this is, once again, it's quite a big jump because there's the wet bit first, before the water, and then there's the wet bit after, before that. Okay, 1, 2. Ooh, did that nicely. That was just a 1-footed jump there. Good job. Thanks for all the encouragement. I'm glad I came out here today. Oh, some little crucifer flowers. Very nice. I'm not sure what this plant is. It looks a bit like a type of stone crop, but it's quite big as well. I don't know what this is. Little maritime thing. Get a wee shot. I'll look at that later. I like to get a wee shot of things like this and then I use the VOD and then have a little look later at the books. It's got ridges on its stems and interesting. There's a lot of maritime stuff that I don't really know what it is. I might have an idea of what type of family it is, but when it comes to fully identifying it. So there's an interesting thing to observe. Can you see that the water is all sort of moving to the right here? You see all the little bits of all the bubbles and things like that. You see it's just slowly moving to the right. That means the tide is moving very, very slowly in this way. So things in nature to observe tell you which way the tide is moving. Right, so there's a stone here which I'm going to try and put my foot on and then get across. My worry is that we're going to slip, because it does look quite slidey. It's super slidey. So shallow, I just walked through it. Right, let's go to the beach. To the actual beach. That's interesting. Stone has been split. See all the sparkly bits in it. I think the sparkly bits are either mica or feldspar, if I remember my geology correctly. Might be wrong. Anyway, I don't want to not talk shit on stream, so I'm not going to guess things. Here we are. So you see that this strip of beach is the defence between that whole area of flat land that we've just been exploring and the ocean. Down there is a bit of land, and then across here you can see the land on the horizon over there. So that's Ireland, Northern Ireland. In fact, you can just see you can see one of the ferries there. So that's Northern Ireland over there. And then as we go up Northern Ireland, it should just drop away into the sea. There we go, there's it dropped away into the sea. And then that's the north of the Irish Sea and the Atlantic Ocean, and then there you go, there's the beginning of Scotland there. That's the Mull of Kintyre. I've got you zoomed in there, so... Oh, wrong one. You can't usually see Ireland, actually. It's usually just a bit too hazy. But I'm quite surprised sometimes, just in the last few days, I've been like, wow, Ireland is actually super close. You don't always see as much of it. So there you go, this is the Mull of Kintyre going up here. And then we've got Ailsa Craig at some point. Past it already, there's Ailsa Craig. One of our geological formations here. And then directly behind Ailsa Craig we've got the Isle of Arran, which is known as Scotland in miniature. Never been to Arran yet, actually. It's something maybe we could do that together. Go on an Arran trip. Don't know what the signal's like over in Arran, but it'd be cool. Cool to go to a new place with the stream. Wonder if there's an Irish streamer pointing at your beach. So there's the 88th Baron. He's often on the beaches in Ireland, but he's sort of more on the west side a little bit. And then there's Mr. Paul. He tends to be around Belfast, but Connor G Show, he's also in that area as well. So I often give them a wave. Right, let's go down to the sea. The one-time zoom seems to be the best for just showing things. This is the widest angle. Usually the wide angle, the gimbal gets in the way, but not today for some reason. So let's just stay widescreen because I do like it. So you see the beach is pretty, it's quite a tall beach. There's my battery warning telling me 20 minutes left. Down this 6 feet of shale or shingle, and we've got actual beach. Who needs Thailand? I wouldn't mind going to Thailand though. The sea there would be well warm in comparison to here. So, if you're in chat right now and you'd like me to write your name in the sand, let me know. If you're really enjoying these streams, if you go into the About section of the Visit Scotland page, you will find a donation link. Oh, let's get wet! Holy moly. That didn't last long, did it? You were. I've been looking at my life for like the last 20 years, and it seems like the common thread is I bring nature to people. I help people to experience things that they can't otherwise experience. Whether that's in real life via walking and sharing, or online, or with virtual reality. Look at this stone. Isn't that lovely? With all the quartz and stuff. All the pink rose quartz that it looks like. It's super nice. Oh, I'm getting wet feet here. Right. Exhibit Scotland TV has got a merchandise shop on Fourth Wall. You can, there should be a link on the About section, I think. And on there you can get some interesting merchandise. You can also join up with a membership to help me out, and also get some stuff. There are some very special things there on the site that you won't get anywhere else in the world, namely a virtual reality tour of Scotland. If you've got a VR headset and you'd like to be up close with nature in a way that you will never ever probably get the chance to in real life. Slightly overshot. Then go and have a look there. There is calendars there, photographs, nature, and amazing stuff, all themed. If you know anything about art on Twitch, you might know an artist called Megsmashables. Well, when I first came onto Twitch, I stumbled across Megsmashables. She was just starting her journey, and I asked her to make some images for me. And so yeah, there are themed images, basically. There are themes. There's trees or fungi or abstract, various different images. And they're on t-shirts. They also are kind of like the header images for the different tiers of membership. And yeah, so kind of exclusive Exhibit Scotland merch stuff you'll get on my Fourth Wall and where else.